Just so I make sure I accurately quote you, what you said was you won't sleep with people who work under you. Do you not consider Mr. Wade working under you?
I consider Mr. Wade to be an agent.
An agent?
Yeah, an appointee is what I really think of him as.
You guys remember Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, right? Well, the same Fani Willis who lied about her relationship with her own co-worker, Nathan Wade. Yeah, the same one who denied ever having Nathan Wade pay for anything during their short-term relationship. And guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Let's get started.
The romantic relationship ended before the indictment was returned, yes or no?
To a man, yes.
Well, to a man, yes. To you, no?
She's explained this, Mr. Sadam. She's explained this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that?
Ooh.
Or was it just a coincidence?
Let's go on and have the conversation.
I'm just asking you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
So going back to these statements made in court, it's said that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade have already parted ways romantically, right? And that was the end of that until Fani Willis's daughter got arrested for driving with an expired license. Y'all remember that too, right? And look what happened. Look who's with Miss Willis. Look who's with Miss Willis. None other than Nathan Wade. Now, I'm pretty sure that this wasn't just some random coincidence. I guess they got through whatever problems that they were dealing with before, and maybe they're back together again. Who knows? Which could explain why Nathan Wade did his best to hide from U.S. Marshals when he was to be served a subpoena.
House Republicans plan to escalate their investigation into Nathan Wade, a former special prosecutor in Fulton County, Georgia, by subpoenaing him to appear for a deposition. But Wade appears to be missing in action. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan had ordered Wade in a subpoena to appear for the closed-door interview as part of the committee's investigation into Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's prosecution of former President Donald Trump. Wade has been unresponsive to emails from the committee about the subpoena, and his silence has led Jordan to take the unusual step of asking U.S. Marshals Service to try and locate Wade in Georgia to serve him. A Republican lawyer familiar with the matter said that the U.S. Marshals Service has not been able to find Wade and that, quote, at this point, we know he's trying to avoid service, end quote. Wade's law office did not respond to a request for comment.
They should have gotten in contact with the DA. She'd probably know where Wade was at, but it's kind of suspicious to try and hide when you know that the law is looking for you. You know what I mean? Even though we know that this guy is experienced in hiding. What's really sad though is that he can be there for Fani Willis and her daughter, but is somehow absent for his actual kids. Now, a few months ago, reports had come out that Nathan Wade had suddenly cut alimony payments to his ex-wife. His reasoning was poverty, since he was forced to resign from the election interference case against Donald Trump. Now, remember, this is the same guy that was being paid allegedly $250 an hour by the Fulton County DA. And during this short stint with Fani Willis, he reportedly made almost $1 million. So where did all this money go? How did he suddenly go from the lap of luxury to poverty? Was he tricking off at the clubs? Who knows? So you could say that Nathan Wade had a habit of running away from his obligations as a man. Unluckily for him, the House Judiciary Committee found a way to get to him. So initially, they basically gave him the subpoena to Nathan Wade's lawyer, who rejected to receive it. Basically, they tried to hand it to him, but he didn't take it. Now, getting the Wade, though, has raised a lot of speculation and criticism given the fact that the House Judiciary Committee has done this almost 100 times. The committee further stated that Nathan Wade's evasion of service is extremely unusual and will require the committee to spend U.S. taxpayers to locate him. So they needed to use our taxpayer money just to get this guy. Nathan Wade's lawyer, on the other hand, said that the former prosecutor had nothing that is of interest. But we got to remember that Nathan Wade, he kind of slipped in a previous interview with CNN.
Just to clarify, when did the romantic relationship between the two of you start?
Yeah, so, we get into, there's been this effort to to say that, okay, these exact dates are at issue, and these exact dates are, I'm getting signaled here.
Yeah, take it. Want to go off mic for a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep rolling?
Keep rolling, don't stop down there, because we're stay at speed.
And guys, as you can see here, he's been summoned because he was this close to telling the truth, which could cost Fani Willis her entire case against Donald Trump. So if Nathan Wade can't handle an interview with CNN, what more will happen if he's to face the likes of Jim Jordan? Now, my prediction is that something very similar to this will happen if he faces the GOP committee. I want you guys to notice how he deflects the questions he's asked. And note how long he takes to answer that last question that he's asked.
Let's talk about Tennessee. You booked a cabin in August 2023 and paid for a cabin in Tennessee. That's when you paid for it. I don't know when the trip was. Can you tell us about that?
August of 2023.
You booked a trip for $1,481.54.
Are you asking me, did I take that trip with Miss Willis, or are you asking me?
First, I was just asking you to acknowledge that that is correct from the records, that you paid for a cabin in Tennessee. Do you recall, and hopefully you can do it from your memory, do you recall paying for a cabin 6 months ago, $1,400.81 in Tennessee?
Where are we now? What page is that?
I'm just asking from your memory. Do you remember paying for a cabin in August?
Your Honor, if he's going to be asked about a particular transaction, then
You can answer whether he remembers or not.
Mr. Wade, I'm not asking you to go through 1,000 pages of records. I'm asking if you remember paying for a cabin 6 months ago in Tennessee.
No.
You remember booking a cabin?
I booked lots of cabins.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
No.
Now, honestly, guys, I just can't see Jim Jordan being as patient as this. Jim Jordan, he'll get on you quick, especially if Nathan Wade decides to commit perjury. Now, I'm also not sure what Nathan Wade was looking at the ceiling for that long time. You know, did you guys notice that? He was just staring at the ceiling. Like, were there some notes up there or something? Anyway, maybe God was talking to him. And how many cabins do you have to book within 6 months for you to forget booking one in Tennessee? I mean, seriously, it just doesn't make any sense. He's not a very good liar. That's all I can say. And since we talked about her, Fani Willis is also under a lot of pressure in court. I read a book a long time ago, and it basically said something that was really powerful and profound to me. And it said something along the lines of, look at your 5 closest friends, and typically your income is an average of your 5 closest friends. Now, with that being said, I was kind of like thinking, okay, well, how do I find people who made way more than me so I could increase my chances of having a higher income? I mean, it only made sense, right? For less than a cup of coffee a day, for less than $1 a day, join a powerful network of people who are ready to change their lives for the better. And I will be putting a limit on this group, so get in while you can. Be positively motivated by others who are also on the same pursuit. So I'm going to leave a link for you guys so you can join me over on the Life Pursuit Network in the description down below this video. So check it out, guys, and let's not be a victim of this great wealth transfer that is taking place right now.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis in contempt after she was called to testify in the court case over the state's open records law. The subpoena alleges the district attorney's office has deliberately disregarded the state's law. Willis' office says the case is an effort to harass the district attorney. Here is the judge explaining her decision.
I will note that I received a motion to hold Ms. Willis in contempt for lack of compliance with the subpoena for today's appearance. Given that to my understanding, unless and until Ms. Willis is called to the stand and refuses or fails to appear, if ordered to do so, she's not in contempt, and so that motion is premature.
The judge did leave the door open for Willis to face disciplinary action in the future.
Now, Fani Willis is leading the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and is also being investigated separately by a Republican-led Georgia Assembly State Senate committee. She tried getting out of the subpoena from the committee, but according to the judge, the subpoena still stands.
County DA Fani Willis will have to answer a Georgia Senate committee's subpoena. A Fulton County judge has denied Willis's motion to stop the subpoena, forcing her to testify. The State Senate committee looking into her ongoing investigation of 2020 election interference and her relationship with former special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Willis filed an emergency motion for an injunction to halt the subpoenas, which demanded her appearance at last Friday's hearing.
Plain and simple, guys, Fani Willis is not above the law. And as Georgia House Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted on X, Fani's defiance is absolutely unacceptable. There are very serious questions regarding various potential forms of misconduct. This investigation is all that much more urgent considering her political persecution of the leading candidate for president, Donald Trump. Her second post read, Fani Willis should be arrested for ignoring her subpoena. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that the Congresswoman said that they're going to make sure the controversial DA Fani Willis loses her job.
Pretty much just tell us what you were sharing over there really quick.
Well, this is a devastating day for America. Georgia is embarrassed and ashamed of this Fulton County DA that's abusing her office to go after and arrest the former president of the United States, which is Joe Biden's top political opponent. And I'll tell you right now, in the state of Georgia, I met with GMA last week. This is a statistic that everyone needs to understand. In the state of Georgia, a child is sold for sex. A child is sold for sex over 7,200 times every single month. But here, this disgrace of an attorney, the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, is abusing her power to go after and arrest Trump. She's not using her power of prosecution to go after child sex traffickers, go after gang members that are linked to the Mexican cartels. She's not doing this to go after murderers. We have the same murder rate as Chicago. This is an embarrassment. It's a weaponized government. We're launching an investigation into Fani Willis through the Judiciary Committee, and we go back into session.
Last question about Fani Willis. You know that she did get the approval for the trial date to be moved up. Do you have any comment on that?
My comment to Fani Willis is we're going to make sure that she loses her job.
What do you think she's done wrong?
So now it may not just be Fani Willis losing her job or getting fired that she should be worried about. A lot of people are already calling for her to be disbarred and to do jail time, and that includes Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I talked to a lot of female friends about this, and you know what they said about Fani Willis? They say that this woman has done more damage to black women and feminism than most even understand. And honestly, I can see where they're coming from. What about you guys? So yeah, what's happening right now is Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's office has come under fire, accused by one of the defense attorneys in Donald Trump's Georgia election interference case of not complying with the Georgia open records laws. Defense attorney Ashley Merchant has accused Fani Willis of hiding documents related to a media monitoring company that she allegedly used taxpayer dollars for. And in the latest development, one of Fani's own employees testified against her. This after Ashley Merchant asked a judge to enforce a subpoena and compel Willis to testify at the hearing under threat of contempt. As the defense attorney pointed out, they have a right to know where that money goes. It doesn't have to be related to any case. They could just be curious as a taxpayer. And so they heard testimony from Dexter Bond Jr., the operations deputy at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. During his testimony, which at times was very contentious, Bond testifies about a response that he drafted to Merchant regarding the open records request, while Merchant reviewed emails viewed the day before regarding communications with the media monitoring company. The emails included several quotes for services, invoices, payments allegedly made to the company, and communications with the company. They also questioned Bond about how the documents were produced and whether any documents existed. Now, we'll see if this leads to Fani Willis being subpoenaed, because they confirmed that the DA could still be subpoenaed in the dispute. The judge didn't rule out on Ashley Merchant's request to compel Fani Willis to testify, and the DA did not appear in court. Now, take note, guys, this hearing comes a day after another judge denied Fani Willis's attempt to quash a subpoena that would force her to testify before Georgia's Senate committee, which is investigating her actions in prosecuting the election interference case. Now, part of the committee's probe includes her romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, who she hired under very questionable circumstances. Now, of course, we talked about that here on our channel before, but hey, let me know if you guys want us to revisit that whole Fani Willis controversy. Just drop a quick comment, yes or no, down below. And while you guys are at it, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. And we're not done with this one yet, guys. So stick around, we are continuing our discussion right now. So yes, like I said earlier, they're not just investigating DA Fani Willis for that open records violation. The Georgia Senate Special Committee on Investigations has stated that it's investigating Fani Willis on allegations of misconduct relating to potential conflicts of interest and misuse of public funds to enact new or amend existing laws and or change state appropriations to restore public confidence in the criminal justice system. In particular, the subpoenas seek Fani Willis's testimony and documents related to her ongoing investigation into the 2020 presidential election interference and her relationship with Nathan Wade, a former special prosecutor. But what was even more controversial about this is that the DA defied the subpoena from the state Senate committee. So even before it was issued, the committee's chair, State Senator Bill Cowsert, he already predicted that it's unlikely that she will appear, but disappointing that she considers herself above the law. There you have it, guys. So Fani Willis is openly defying the official investigation against her. She even said that she did not trust the legality of the subpoena itself. And instead of attending the hearing, Willis was at a re-election fundraiser in Washington. As you guys can imagine, Georgia House Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene was not pleased by Fani Willis's defiance of the state Senate. The Congresswoman criticized Fani Willis's decision not to attend the hearing and called for her to be arrested for ignoring her subpoena. Now, I read up on this one for you guys. According to the 2023 Georgia Code passed by the Georgia General Assembly, failure to comply with a subpoena can result in punishment for contempt of court, and the person who failed to comply can be faced with a fine of no more than $300 or imprisonment, aka jail time, for no more than 20 days or both. If they're able to confirm that the subpoena was legal and Fani Willis failed to comply, well, the Georgia General Assembly could seriously take action on Marjorie Taylor Greene's call for Fani Willis to be arrested. As Cowsert said, they do have the authority to investigate and to issue subpoenas to compel testimony and the production of documents, and if tested in court, that will be validated. Now, apart from that, the state Senate will probably seek to compel her testimony through some judicial order that will work its way through the court system over the next few weeks. Now, as Cowsert said, the district attorney will be required to attend, and she will be required to produce certain requested documents. It may require a court order for her to obey them, but that's just where they're headed. In fact, the Georgia Senate Committee has already held several hearings, including one featuring the testimony of a whistleblower who said that she was fired after she raised concerns about Fani Willis's office alleged misuse of funds. But the DA is sticking to her guns. Fani Willis said that she believes that the committee has no authority to subpoena her, and she told a news reporter that she will not appear for anything that's unlawful. She confidently told reporters that she has not broken the law in any way, and even added that she's sorry that folks get pissed off that everybody just gets treated equally. Now, I've covered this in a previous video where Fani Willis herself is fighting off a subpoena. Make sure you watch that video right after this one, because it looks like the clock is ticking for both Fani Wade. I said Fani Wade. The clock is ticking for both Nathan Wade and Fani Willis. I mean, heck, for all I know, maybe they did get married during the last couple months. Who knows? And time's almost out, guys. Anyway, appreciate you guys rocking with me. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.